Here's a question for you. What is a fungus? Many people are vague about the concept of fungi. Some people think that it's named with bacteria. So it is the same kind of bacteria. It is also believed that mushrooms are sold at vegetable stands. So it is a plant. Today, let's make a clarification. Neither bacteria nor plants. Fungi are a separate kingdom, with about 1.5 million members, the second largest taxa on Earth after insects. Fungi can be found everywhere in our lives. The enoki mushrooms we put in the hot pot, the hairs that grow on the expired bread, the yeast used in the steamed bread, are all members of this kingdom. At the same time, fungi are also important pathogens, which can infect plants and make them sick. In all infectious diseases, fungal diseases account for the largest proportion, accounting for about 90% of the number of all diseases. So we usually see plant diseases. Fungal diseases are the most common. Fungal diseases are characterized by disease spots of different shapes, and the parts infected by fungi generally produce mycelia and spores under wet conditions, giving birth to cotton wool, filaments, or powder, mold or particles of different colors. This is the main basis for judging fungal diseases. Under a microscope, the mycelium or spores of the fungus can be observed. Mycelium can be divided into non-septate hypha and septate hypha. Non-septal hypha means that there is no transverse septal segment in the hypha, and the whole hypha is a cell, which can contain multiple nuclei. Septal mycelium refers to the formation of a diaphragm within the mycelium, dividing the mycelium into several segments. Each segment is a cell, and each cell has one or more nuclei. The mycelium of most pathogenic fungi is septate mycelium. The main classification level of fungi is divided according to the order of boundary, door, class, order, family, genus, and species, which is an artificial division, just as a person's identity is defined as continent, country, province, city, county, township, and village. What we call fungal diseases in our daily life belong to the fungal realm, the phylum Fungi. Under the phylum of fungi, it is divided into flagellate subphylum, zygomycetes subphylum, ascomycetes subphylum, basidiomycetes subphylum, hemiomycetes subphylum. 5 categories. It's a bit like the world being divided into 5 continents: Asia, Europe, America, Africa, and Antarctica. In life, we often see a disease described as, "This is the lower fungal disease." The so-called lower fungi often refer to the fungal diseases of the subphyla Flagellata and zygomycetes. Several other subphyla fungal diseases are often referred to as higher fungal diseases. In understanding the classification of fungi, the most important thing to understand and grasp the disease roughly belongs to the subphyla, order, genus, just like we introduce ourselves to others at the beginning to say where they come from. First of all, it is necessary to say which country, that is, corresponding to the subphyla, or class, and then which province, corresponding to the order, and which county corresponding to the genus, is the same. In general, we understand that here, it is sufficient for daily disease diagnosis. But if you want to conduct in-depth research on the disease, you also need to classify the species of the fungus. We'll talk more about the classification of fungi later on. Next, let's review the main content of this class together. Fungi are the most common pathogens of plant infection, and according to whether their mycelia are septate, they are divided into septate and non-septate mycelia. Septate mycelia are owned by higher fungi, and non-septate mycelia are owned by lower fungi. Now assign a task to everyone. Find the objects around you with fungi, bring them to the lab and see under the microscope. Is it higher or lower fungi? Take photos of objects and micrographs respectively, and upload them to the learning platform.